Hi guys, welcome to my Barely There makeup tutorial. Let's get started. So the first thing I start with is my eyebrows. I believe it really just frames my face and gives me a sense of direction. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil in dark brown, and I usually just start on the tail. As you can see, my tail is a little bit finer than the rest of my eyebrow. And the technique that I use is kind of outlining the tail, filling it in, and just kind of working to the 1/3 point, if you can see what I'm talking about. I don't go all the way, as you'll see what I'll do next. So I'm just doing the tails right now. And now I'm going in with my Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. And I'm using the Anastasia angled brush, which I got from Sephora. Can't remember exactly which one it is. I'll put it in the description box below. But I basically just go over what I had done with the pencil just to define it and make sure that it's locked in, because it is waterproof, and if I'm sweating, that's probably the first thing to go. So that's what I'm doing right there. And you can see I'm not really going to the most medial part of the eyebrow. I'm just stopping halfway, and the reason for that is that tapered effect kind of sets in better that way. And so now I'm just going back in with the pencil and lightly adding some more definition. I really want that tapered effect, as I mentioned earlier, and so I put a couple pencil strokes in, and then I brush it up. I don't just go in with the pencil and then brush up when I think I'm done, because if I switch both techniques, you get a more tapered look. And I'm just using my finger to perfect that arch. So now I'm taking my Sephora brush cleaner and I'm cleaning the angled brush, because I'm going to use it later on to highlight under my eyebrows. But now I'm using the MAC Studio Effects primer, and I'm just going in and rubbing that all over my face. First I start on my face, I work my way into the creases of my eyes, even though I'm going to use a eyeshadow primer later, and then whatever is left on my hands, I'll just gently go down to my neck, because I am going to put some concealer there. This is the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir oil. It's so amazing. It gives you a natural and flawless looking glow. So I just put 3 drops, 1 under each eye and 1 on my lips, not too much. And I'm just making sure to really work that into my face. Now I'm taking my Maybelline Matte Poreless in 340 Cappuccino, and this color is the closest color to my complexion. It's very natural, and I've seen a lot of people use the foundation that's really way lighter, but I like to match my complexion almost exactly, and I'm mixing in some more rose gold elixir into this foundation. I found that it makes for a more natural finish and less cakey finish. So I'm just putting a few dabs of it all over my face, under my eyes, my T-zone, my chin, cheeks, and I do put 1 or 2 dots on my neck, whatever's left. I try not to put too much on my neck because it's harder to get it off when I'm taking off my makeup, and I'm using that brush from e.l.f. Got it from CVS, I think. Probably like $1 or $2, but it served me well. Nice little concealer brush. And I'm just making sure to spread the concealer all over my face. You'll see as I get closer to my my hairline, it looks a little bit harsh. However, I am going to correct that with my beauty blender later on. Taking my MAC Prep and Prime, and I'm spraying my beauty blender. And I always like to use a damp beauty blender to work in my concealer and whatever I'm using it for on my face. I like it to be damp. It just makes it really melt into your skin and look more natural and not cakey or chalky. And see, I'm working it a little bit more into my hairline, on my eyelids, and above my eyebrows, and then taking that down to my neck. Now I'm taking my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC 43 just to add some highlight to my face. And I actually have a couple steps for highlights, but you'll see. So I take a few dabs of it under my eyes and on my chin. And I take whatever's left with my angled brush and put it under the tails of my eyebrows and a little bit to the halfway point. I don't like the whole full under eyebrow concealer look because it just makes it look too outlined and not natural. So I just decided to try this one day, and I feel like it works best for me. You can put as much as you want on, but this is just a personal preference. So now I'm taking that beauty blender again and making sure that it's damp and just working that concealer in there. And by the way, this is in regular speed. I don't know why I was moving my hands so fast, but yeah. And I'm taking that concealer brush and just dragging down whatever is under my eyebrows very carefully just to blend it in better. And you really want to be careful during this step so you don't wipe off your whole eyebrow, because I have done it before and it is so annoying, especially when you're in a hurry for class, work, whatever. So now I'm going in with my Studio Finish in NC 43, and I like this concealer. It's very used, as you can see, but I really like this concealer because it adds that thickness under my eyes. There I go with the super speed again. But it adds that thickness under my eyes. I kind of have, I don't know if I would call it bags, but it just looks like I'm tired when I'm really not, no matter how much sleep I got. It's just been there since I was a little kid. So, but this concealer just brightens up that area and makes it look thick and even with the rest of my face. And so I'm going in with a damp beauty blender once again. And I'm using this concealer stick that I got from the beauty supply. It has 2 different shades and they're not really named. This one is kind of a beige color. I just had to play it by experience to get the colors right. But I really like this one. It's not too bright. It's like a perfect color, I think. So I'm just putting a little bit under my eyes, on my chin, on my nose. And I'm going in with the darker mocha color. What is that? Dark chocolate, whatever. And this is kind of a tan beigey color that I use to contour my nose. I don't use that darker espresso color because I noticed it was just too dark and it made my contour look weird and unnatural. So I like this color, and I really don't even blend that one in that much. As you can see, I just go over it and set it with a powder, as I'll show you later on. And I'm just blending everything in with the Beauty Blender. Blend, 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 baby. Blend, blend, blend. So now I'm still blending. But blending is the key to a flawless finish. Don't believe me? Just watch. And I'm taking a water break because Lord, it was hot in there. So I'm using my NW45 MAC powder, and I'm going to set my contour on my cheekbones, or the hollows of my cheeks I should say. And this is a black radiance color in Warm Berry. It's a blush and I absolutely adore it. I typically just put it on top of my contour. It just has a nice mix. I don't really like separating my blush from my contour. So I'm going in with a Sephora fluffy brush and setting the contour on my nose. And you can start seeing the highlight popping, and I haven't even put it on yet. I think it's that rose gold elixir. And so I'm using Topaz Ben Nye powder to set my highlight. And I have used banana before, but I did notice a flashback. And you know, I've seen people who have a darker complexion than me use the banana powder and it works perfectly for them. So I don't know, for me, I really like how the Topaz is kind of a similar color to my complexion, and it works perfectly. There's no flashback, and it even adds some radiance to my face. I noticed I kind of got like an ashy after effect when I used the banana powder. So I'm just putting it under my eyes, on my forehead. You'll see I don't really use a powder to set any type of contour on my forehead or anything, because I already have a natural darkness in that region. I don't know if you could see from the beginning of the video, so I don't really go over that. So I'm using the MAC Strobe cream. I always get this as a sample when I'm getting things from MAC, and I'm just putting a few dabs on the areas where I'm going to highlight later on. There goes that damn Beauty Blender again, just dab, dab, dab. And there you see the Black Radiance eyeshadow primer. This stuff is amazing. I haven't used any other primer for my eyeshadow ever since I found this. And I just go in between each eyelid. I don't use too much. I just want it to be tacky enough to hold the eyeshadow powder. So I'm really just working it into my eyelids and kind of taking some up to right below my eyebrows, because I am going to be using some eyeshadow up there. And now I'm taking my banana powder to set my eyeshadow primer. So I just found that this really helps give it a more even finish. And there goes my Morphe 350M. I'm taking that color that I just showed you, because they don't have names for their colors, but you can see it's the most used one in my palette. Honestly, if you don't have this palette, I would say get it. It's kind of an essential. Actually, it is the most essential eyeshadow palette you could have. I'm just working that into both eyes, and I kind of build it up, and I blend, blend, blend. Blend the heck out of these shadows, because they're very pigmented, but you want it to be a really nice finish. And as you can see, I'm still blending. Blend, blend, blend. Alright, now it's time for a new color. So I'm going in with this kind of mauve color. It's kind of a white mauve color for my lids. And you can see as soon as I put on just one layer, the difference with setting your eyeshadow primer. It's amazing! And I'm putting on another layer just to make sure that it really pops. And I'm just blending that out. And now I don't know if I mentioned before, but I am just trying to go for a barely there look. So I don't need anything too crazy. I was actually getting ready to see my friend who just came from New Zealand, and I just wanted to, you know, be chill, be natural. So this is a really great look for that. Alright, so that is my Makeup Forever Excessive Lash. I'll put everything in the description box below, by the way. And I'm just going in and putting one coat on the top and bottom lashes. I may go in with a second coat later on, but I like to just start with one and see if it's too much or too little after I finish my makeup look. Look at those brown eyes. Alright, so I think this was actually a second layer of mascara. Sorry if it looks like I'm looking weird. I'm just looking down in the mirror. But yeah, see, I take different angles when I'm doing the lower lashes. This powder is my NC 43 MAC Studio Effects powder, and I'm going over the areas where my Topaz powder was. So most of it has kind of like melted into my skin already, but I like to use this powder to kind of blend everything together once I'm done. And this is a fluffy brush that I got from e.l.f. as well, CVS actually, e.l.f. brand. And it's like my go-to brush. I use it all day, every day. Clearly my hair was irking me right then. So I really just make sure that I'm getting rid of any harsh lines, any remnants of the Topaz powder, or any other nonsense. And that is my Ruby Kisses All Over Glow that I got from the Beauty Supply. I'm going in with this angled blush blush brush. Yeah. So I'm going in on my nose, on my cheeks, and yeah, I was feeling it. Feeling this all over glow. You can even go in and put it on your collarbones if you're really trying to be popping this summer, which we all are, right? So I can't really say that you could put too much glow. I really don't think there can be too much, just if you put it in the right spots, you know? Don't put it all over your face though. And I'm going in with my flat MAC brush, putting that underneath the highlight area of my brow bone. And it's a really nice subtle glow. Sometimes I'll go in with the shimmer colors from my 350F or 35F Morphe palette. And there I go with some more mascara, by the way. So see what I meant? Like, you just have to put on your eyeshadow, see if you need any more, any less. Mascara, well, you can't do anything if it's too much, but you get my point. So once again, I'm going in with this damp beauty blender, but I'm using it to actually work in my contour and my highlight. I found that this was really nice for taking away the harshness. And I was just using my Whirl Matte lipstick. This is like the most natural nude shade from MAC that I've ever bought. It's amazing. You can wear it anywhere, anytime, any place, and it's appropriate. And now I'm going in with my angled brush and my NC 43 concealer from MAC. And I'm just trying to clean up the areas around my lipstick. And this is a very subtle detail, but it makes a difference. And now I'm going in with that Prep and Prime and 2 at the most NYX Dewy Finish sprays. That stuff is very powerful. You don't want to look too dewy because you're going to look like you're sweating bullets. And I'm using my Morphe box, yes, to fan myself out. And yes, we're done. Enjoy.